Some of this, I'm going to try to do a little bit of it from memory, but I'll tell you where to get all the information you need in order to do this. Okay, I know we're here. So we want to tell you this is phase one for Mount Carmel. And how long it will last is to be determined. All right, but here's all that we simply want to do. This is the focal point of phase one, is we want to make a moment not to return to campus. I hope if you've learned anything through all this, this is a building. The church is the people. And we want to gather together. We want to be with one another. Now, with the guidelines that are still in place by our governing authorities, which we want to respect, we will not be returning to business as usual in phase one. Okay? We're not going to be like, here's the day and we can all come in and just hug and kiss on one another. That's not how we're going to do that. I'm just, in this few moments before I get into Revelation, going to give you an overview of phase one, and then I'll tell you where to go to read more about it. Okay, that's all I want to do. So in phase one, here's what we're going to do. We're going to have just Sunday morning worship service only. Okay, just Sunday morning worship, no Sunday school hour. All right, those are things that we will discuss in phase two. We're asking for a maximum of 50 total people per service. Okay, and I'll explain how we can do more in just a moment. And we will not have choir. And the reason for that, it's one reason, is just because of the proximity of how you've got to be. It's hard to have a choir of 20 to 30 people 6 feet apart, all right? Our first service right now, and please understand, everything's tentative. If the governor were to come out and to put the shelter in place back in order, we have no reason to defy that. I don't believe it's due to religious persecution, but for public health reasons. But the date that we're shooting for is June 14th at 11 o'clock. All right? So June 14th is the day you can put on your calendar. Now, how are we going to limit the 50 total people? All right? You must reserve your church service spot, okay? This is what we're asking you to do, all right? And the reason we want you to actually go on, and I'll show you how you can reserve your spot. There's 3 ways. We want you to reserve your spot so that if we fill up to 50, if we see that 11 o'clock service is going to fill up at 50, then we have time to add a 9 o'clock service or a different service and let it fill up as well, okay? So you can go do 3 things. Number 1, you can call the church, okay, the church office, and let Cindy know who all, if it's you or your whole family, that will be attending the June 14th service. But if you would do me a favor, okay, because if we all did that, she would get nothing else done. I need you to really try to leverage 2 things. This is where you can read the whole plan for phase 1. It's mtcarmeldemers.com/plan. And there is a tab at the top that says plan. And if you scroll down about halfway, you'll see a big bold link that says reopen church. You click on it. I think it asks for your name or your family's name, the total number of people that would be showing up, and then like the date that you're coming, okay? It's that simple. And what will happen is if we get to the point where we're doing multiple services, that third one will be like, do you want to come to the earlier service or a later service, that kind of thing. So right now, you should only be able to see one date and one time, okay? The other thing is we have done this it's called Text in Church. We're going to do our best to leverage this a lot through phase 1. And you should have gotten an initial text message today. This number here, now understand this number is not the church phone number, like as in a number to call. It is simply a number to text, okay? And unlike the ones from Breeze, This number we can respond to on a text. But if you'll just text RSVP to this number, it will send the form to you right now. Okay? And you can fill it out. So that's the way we're asking you to reserve your church spot. And you just need to know this. You say, how long are we going to do it? And until the church leadership goes, all right, we're good. We got a handle on this. We know what to expect. But we just don't know to begin with. We may only have 20 people show up. We could have 100 people reserve a spot. And so that's why we're asking you to do this. All right? A couple of things. When you do come to church, in order to maintain the social distance guidelines, we're going to place bulletins in the pews where you can sit. You have to sit where a bulletin has been placed. All right? And it will generally be a bulletin on every other pew, and it'll be far left, and then a next pew far right. Every other one. Another things that you need to know is we'll keep the families together. So if you're in a household, if me, my wife, and Rotland and Rasbone, and that's my nickname for Haddon, wants to show up, we'd all four of us count against the 50. Everybody get what I'm saying? But we would all sit together. We're not going to space those out. Now here's the biggest thing. We have to pull out all the hymn books, the Bibles, the pens, anything that you would pick up and put back. We have to take all that out. So you're going to get a bulletin that will have the scripture references, the lyrics for the hymns, and all of that. Good. I'm glad you just registered. I probably just got the thing on my phone. But what I was going to say is, here's what we're trying to say. You need to bring your own pen. You got me? Because we're not going to provide. All we're going to give you are the physical materials, like the paper in that bulletin. And then what we want you to do is take the whole thing, the bulletin, the scripture insert, the hymn insert, and take it home. We don't want to pick it up. You see what I'm saying? We'll place it with gloves, the staff will, and then once you grab hold of it, you got to leave with it. All right? So if you don't want to trash it at home, then don't use it. You see what I'm saying? So everything will be kind of put into a bulletin packet. That's where you'll go. Okay? So that's what I'll need you to think about. We're going to use all four entrances to the sanctuary. Now, in case you're unaware, of course, you got the two big double glass doors around the top part, but there's those emergency exits that are near the piano and the organ. And what we're going to do is we're going to have greeters, and we're going to fill the church up from the emergency exits first to about halfway in, okay? And then we're going to then open the other back doors and fill it in from the back. I need you to understand this, church. You will not, there is no guarantee you will sit in your seat. All right? You have to be super flexible. Okay? So you're either going to have to learn the timing of it where you can get to approximately where you're at. But you're basically going to go to the nearest entrance that's open. It'll be propped open. And if that entrance is closed, then you'll go to the next one. Okay? And we will have the doors propped open. We don't want you to touch the handles. Everybody got me? The greeters will be there in advance. They'll have it propped open and close them at the right time. So if a door is closed, don't touch it. That's all you need to know. If it's closed, you have somebody else come open it for you. And if you're really late, it's closed. Go back to your car and you have to go home. Go home. All right? Let's keep moving. So here's the biggest one. This is the one that's going to get a lot of people. Maybe some of y'all maybe shouldn't have registered until I did this. Restrooms will remain closed. All right? And the reason being is this. The protocol that the state has given us, we would have to sanitize the bathroom every time just one person uses it. And right now in phase 1, we're just not going to deal with that. Okay? I need you to understand, you will have access to the sanctuary. We really don't even want you in the foyer. All right? It's just so that you can get into the sanctuary and get out. So, matter of fact, the doors that go to like our office areas, they'll be closed. The doors downstairs to the children's area will be closed. The fellowship hall doors will be closed. You'll only be able, the only doors is there's no hallways open, there's no rooms open, there's no other bathrooms open, just the sanctuary doors. Okay? And please understand this. If you're here and it hits you and you got to go, like, you're going to have to like be friends with DQ or you're going to have to go home, okay? Like, I'm just going to put it out there for you, all right? But we're not opening the bathrooms. We'll continue to do our live stream services, and I'll discuss that more in a minute. But here's the reason why this is important. A couple of things. If you show, I need you to understand, we as church leaders will enforce this, okay? If you come sick, we will turn you around, okay? Do not come sick if you have symptoms of sickness. If you've been exposed to COVID-19, you cannot come, and I mean this with gentleness and respect. If you're elderly with existing medical conditions or medically fragile, we will turn you away, okay? I need y'all to be in good health and do not compromise the health of other people. Love your neighbor as you love yourself, all right? And then the other part is this. If children are just showed mild symptoms, you know, because my Scotty can go 100 miles an hour and be sick, you know what I'm saying? Got to keep them home, all right? So everybody understands. So even adults, if you don't feel well, stay home and watch the service online, okay? Same bat time, same bat channel, okay? But we'll keep streaming those services so that you can do that. Other things, talking about kids. Children must sit with their parents or guardians, whoever brings them. There is no nursery or no children's church during phase 1. It is just the Sunday morning worship service up in the sanctuary. And of course, they are welcome. We want them to be upstairs with us. Okay? Now, some of you know, like, oh man, that could be chaotic. That's on you. We understand they might be a little loud. That's all right. I've been preaching to a sanctuary that's dead quiet. I can take a crying baby, okay? So you think about what's best for you and your family, and if it's easier just to watch online, no hard feelings, all right? So that's a part of phase 1. There'll be no children's church or nursery during phase 1. And then greet by waving. No handshakes, no hugging. And let me just go ahead and tell you right now, I was telling our deacons just last night that I'm going to do my best to exemplify these principles. So I'm going to do everything that I'm telling you here. Like, I will just wave at you. Do not be upset. You said, Pastor didn't greet me. Like, if I look at you and just do this, that's it. That's what you got right now. Now, here's what we mean by the must use the gloves, okay? What we're saying is we're providing hand sanitizer, mask, and gloves. Now, you don't have to, now, we want you to use the hand sanitizer, okay? But you don't have to wear a mask. You don't have to wear gloves. If you want to wear a mask, you're fine to wear your own mask. Here's what we do want, though. Because we don't know where your gloves have been with gentleness and respect. If you want to wear gloves, we will have gloves available. You keep your gloves, you stash your gloves away, and you put on the gloves we have. All right? And then you can keep them. Again, anything that we give you, it's yours. All right? We don't want it back. And then the other thing, we're going to continue to do online give-in, and you can still mail in financial contributions to the church. But we'll have offering boxes placed at entrances because we cannot pass the plate. Okay? So there's no offering time per se. So when you come in or when you exit, you'll see these boxes. You can just drop a check or your money in there for financial contributions. And then I think this is the end of my spiel. Phase 1. We need several people to serve in volunteer positions. And the reason being is this: what you have to recognize, our nominating report is built for what we would call phase 3 or 4. Okay, it's a couple of phases from now when things are more back to normal. But right now, there's technically very limited volunteer positions because, as far as with what all goes on a Sunday, because you don't have nursery in the children's church, there's not a Sunday school hour. So what we're asking is, if you want to serve and we need you to serve, we have different volunteer positions that we need. We have different greeter ministries because this is not the same greeter ministry that we had before. And to be honest, some greeters may not return because they may not meet some of the conditions or they don't feel ready to. So I really need you, if you registered, I need you to think about if you can serve in one of these capacities. And there are position descriptions available on the mtcarmeldemarest.com/plan. And you can also sign up for them there. The other things we'll need is people to run, like we have an audio visual team, but again, what you have to realize, some of those people that serve on audio visual may not be ready to come back. So we may need more people able to serve than before, and we'll orchestrate all of this. We're not trying to replace anybody. That's not the point. We're just simply saying this: we may have to offset certain people. So if you were a greeter pre-COVID and you don't come back during phase 1, no hard feelings. But what I am saying is, if you're going to participate in phase 1, we might need you to serve as a greeter. We might need you to serve at the soundboard. We might need you to serve at the camera. We might need you to serve back there at the computer. So these are all things. And then another thing that I need is, if this is where I need volunteers at too. If you're not going to come and be a part of phase 1, like at the physical campus, but you're going to live stream, generally I'm online talking with you guys, like messaging back and forth. I would love to have like a live stream host and a live stream follow-up people who will chat and interact with people. That's a part of their ministry. So if you're interested in going, hey, I'm not going to go to the campus, but I'll get online and be very intentional to greet the people who, our fellow people who will watch, our fellow members who will watch, and greet visitors that I see. I need people for that too, because the leadership, we will be completely unaware of what's going on online because we'll be leading the service. So that's what we need, okay? So please prayerfully consider that as well.